As Morse said, there is an election, June 3. Elections, as Morse said, are foundational. This one is absolutely critical because right now, so much is at stake. What's at stake? Well, nothing less than the continuation of South Korea's democracy and perhaps the continuation of the South Korean state. That's what makes June 3 so important, because everyone has to ensure that this is not the last election in South Korea's history. That's the summary, and let's get started. And the topic is election fraud. The issue of election fraud didn't start with President Yoon's impeachment and removal. It didn't even start in the 2020 National Assembly elections. But that's where we'll begin today. The balloting in 2020 resulted in unexpected and overwhelming victories for leftist candidates, as early voting tipped district after district in their favor. When you had so many uniformly narrow victories go to the leftists, that was statistically improbable. At the time, an observer said, either God did it or there was ballot rigging. Well, in all probability, it wasn't the Almighty. In all probability, it was humans. And some of those humans actually came from China. We know that the National Election Commission, in their infrastructure, used equipment from Huawei Technologies, the Chinese company. And we also know that Huawei Technologies equipment is susceptible to interference from Beijing. But there was also reporting, unconfirmed, but there was reporting that the leftists cooperated with Tencent, which is a Chinese internet giant, to develop an algorithm to switch votes that had been cast in the early voting. And indeed, South Korea had a system that looked like it was designed to be susceptible to ballot rigging because of the early voting features. 2 years after that, there was a presidential election. President Yoon was selected, but his margin was much narrower than people thought it would be. Certainly the polling and the election results didn't match. And in 2024, there were again National Assembly elections, this time giving the leftists an unprecedented majority in the National Assembly. And in 2024, like in 2020 and 2022, the polling and the results did not match. Now, of course, you can have one election where the polling and the balloting don't match, but when it happens consistently, and it's happened consistently in your country, then that screams election fraud. Now, this election fraud has had consequences because you now have a lopsided government. Today, the leftists who are running for presidency, they are more ruthless, they are more socialist, they are more China-loving, they are more North Korea-loving, they're more American-hating than leftists in the past. And that, of course, must be of concern. So, the existence of the Republic of South Korea, the Republic of Korea, is at stake. Freedom is at risk, democracy at risk, everything is at risk. But patriots, take heart. Patriots, take heart because we fight together, we struggle together, we will prevail together. We are brothers and sisters, and we are one. We go together.
현장에 자리해주신 장시간 세 분께서 각각 기자회견문을 발표해 주시겠습니다.
Okay. I'm Colonel Retired John Mills. It is an honor to be with you in Korea. Thank you very much. My own father-in-law was wounded twice here in 1950 The United States and Korea have a special bond forged in blood, fire, and steel. South Korea is America's closest friend of any country in the world. And that's why we're here. We want to make sure we provide some oversight that there is a fair and free election. Fair and free elections are foundational to a constitutional republic. They are so important. They have to be transparent. They must be transparent. Government agencies must be transparent to the people. The government works for the people, not the other way around. So all government agencies need to be fully sharing on what is going on and how to do their process. And elections have to be simple. Simple is good. Taiwan is a great example of just a wonderful election process full of integrity. Paper only, one day, you must show up to vote. It's hand counted right there on the spot. And they have all the results done by early evening on the same day. That's amazing. Very little complex information technology. Simple is good. We're here in the spirit of the Carter Center for Democracy also, which is setting the standard for election monitoring. That's why we are here as the National Election Integrity Association, to provide some monitoring to ensure transparency in this election. And it's the right of the citizen to ask questions. It's the right of the citizen and groups to investigate and look over elections. Calling somebody a conspiracy